It was after a hockey tournament. We went to a buddy's house and we just kind of crashed at his house. I fell asleep early. They were in another room and just hadn't gone to sleep yet. And they had actually one of the one of the kids was fucking. Hang on a second. Oh god damn! What is this thing? Have you ever seen these things? These big. I don't know what kind of lizard it is. Let me see
You
if I
have a
can.
lizard in your office?
No, it's in my Jessica just sent me a video of it. It's in our garage.
Oh,
It's
the,
big though.
the
It's
one with
like
the blue tail.
yeah, and it's got like they got big holes in their fucking side of their head. I don't know if you can see it. It's too fucking blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do usually have a blue tail. Yes, I don't know what it is.
Those are
Anyways, I
skinks,
skinks.
blue-tailed
That's what it is.
skinks.
That's what it is. A skink. Anyways, I woke up to them in the other room, and you're like, oh, giving me shit because I fell asleep early, and I don't know why. We didn't prank each other or anything, and but they had gotten vodka bottles, and they were drinking vodka, and being stupid and young, we filled it back up with a bunch of water, and thinking half and half, and it would be fine, that nobody would know, and it fucking froze. I didn't get in trouble because I didn't live there, but my buddies got in trouble. That same so one of the same kids got caught at that same house at like 2 in the morning. I woke up and we're smoking the cigarette butts uh, out of his mom's ashtray.
I used to do that when I was like, dude, I couldn't have been in high school yet. So middle school, I used to smoke cigarette butts that I pulled out of the trash can out of ashtrays at T-ball fields at
Oh
Deer
yeah.
Park. Deer Park.
For those youngins, they used to today they have them where it's like there's a little hole at the top of something and you drop you ash it out and you drop it in there, and it's supposed to help prevent fires. Well, it used to be back in the day at public ashtrays were just like a trash can, and there'd be like a little tray at the top with sand or whatever
Yeah.
gravel in it, and you just kind of put your shit out and walk away. And so sometimes someone would walk by going into a store, they just lit one, like, oh shit, I got to go inside. They put that out. You could walk by and find, collect five or
Yeah, like
six and get you a
three
couple of cigarettes worth.
three quarters of a cigarette. Just stay away from the ones with lipstick. Those are
Yeah,
gross.
that's gross because the ones without lipstick are fine.
Yeah, the ones without lipstick are safe. Marked safe.
Oh fuck, man.
Yeah, and then I'd go smoke them we live in an apartment complex, and I'd go smoke them behind the trash can apartment complex, and then I'd rollerblade around till the smell went away.
Yeah.
First time I smoked cigarettes was I was young, but my friend down the street, I don't even remember his name, but it was the perfect cover because his mom smoked in the house like a couple of packs a day.
Oh,
So
nice.
she had this big glass jar that sat on top of this fridge, and it was
Yeah.
just filled with cigarettes. She'd buy like cartons at a time and just
Oh,
dump
and just
them into
pour
this
them in there.
jar.
That's
So
badass.
they were Durals, but we'd go pull one and
Ugh.
then go in the woods. And then we used to take like packing tape and like tape sticks together to create forts and stuff. And we'd like
Mhm.
build forts in the woods. But then you would take the cigarette and like you could burn holes through the packing tape.
Oh shit.
And I remember like doing that a bunch. And then you'd take a hit of it and suck in all that plastic that you just dipped the cigarette into. It's a wonder I'm
Yeah.
alive.
Mm.
It's a wonder I'm alive. Speaking of blue-tailed skinks, I redid all the plumbing for the pool today. Don't get a pool for those that think they want one. But I redid the plumbing today, and I was just picking up, moving stuff around, and the last thing, the wheelbarrow, I went to move it, and I felt something on my wrist, and I looked down, and I just like instincts. They were, probably like
Yeah.
big, like 7-8 inch. I found out it was a skink a little too late, but
Uh-oh.
I did this like ugh, like with my arm, like ugh, and launched it, and I saw it like helicoptering into the neighbor's yard, and I was like, "Fuck!" I felt a little bad. There's no way he survived it. I launched his ass.
I just imagine like being that skink and you're just like freaking out a little bit because something just reached in and moved your stuff, and now you're on some other animal's arm, and then suddenly airborne,
Yeah, just
and that's
flying
it.
through the sky. He probably thinks I picked him up and threw him. I think we have a mouse or something in our garage. Oh, this keeps happening to my camera.
Is it freezing? You're
No, I
frozen.
think I'm not
Oh,
frozen. It's just
I see.
it's I think that port's a little wallered out. So
Yeah.
like over time, or maybe I need a bigger USB uh, adapter thing. I don't know. So we decided to do a little podcast. I was going to talk about Lyme disease.
Oh yeah.
So I'm I was trying to think what was it we were saying? I'm in remission. I'm in recovery. I'm a
Sure.
survivor.
Yeah. Matt
And
is a Lyme disease survivor. We're
and,
very happy you still have him around.
yeah, May is a Lyme disease awareness month if you didn't know. So I'll be selling green lime ribbons
Yep.
for $85 a piece, and then all the profit from that goes to me. For so anybody wants to support me in my Lyme disease journey.
Yep. And if you don't support it, you're racist.
Yeah, you're a fucking bigot. So you can just Venmo me $85. I'll send you a green sticker.
And for
That I
those of
haven't.
you that are more on the liberal side, if you don't support it, it makes you a Republican. So
Oh yeah,
you better throw them some money.
yep. Whatever thing you don't want to be,
That's what it
then
makes you.
that's what it makes you. Just heads up. But no, the fucking ticks, man.
Yeah, dude. So you got to tell me. You said you pulled it off of your chin.
My chinny chin chin.
Dude, I've had ticks in all kinds of places. Never on my face. That's wild.
It was left side. I was sitting on the couch at Camp Hero
Hmm.
with the wife. I had just gotten out of the shower, checked my whole body for ticks, and I just like I don't know, I moved funny and I was like, what was that? And I touched my chin and the thing was like right on the edge of the chin. Like
Hmm.
if you were Johnny Bravo, like right there where it curves. And I was like, damn, it's a tick in my face. And so she pulled it out and I like looked at it, but I didn't know what ticks or I don't know, I don't,
Yeah.
but I do remember it had black legs though. So it is obviously it's a Lyme disease carrying tick, the deer tick,
Yep.
black leg tick. It's the only one that has it. And everything you read says they got to be on there for like 48 hours before you can contract it. And there's zero chance it was on me for 48 hours. So
You hadn't even been in Kentucky 48 hours, had you?
I know.
Yeah.
But like 2 days later, I woke up and my neck hurt, but it hurt like in a way, not like, oh, I slept on it weird. It just like, it fucking hurt. And so like turning my head was very painful.
Mm.
And I was like, well, it's got to be this damn tick. So I like Googled tick because it was so close to my lymph node. I was like, maybe it just inflamed my lymph node.
Yeah.
So I'm like touching it, and my lymph node, you know how normally they get like balls? This
Yep.
was like elongated. It was almost like imagine like a pill, but
Yeah.
like 5 times the size of a pill, like a
Hmm.
like a like a fish oil pill. It was like that.
Oh,
You know
really?
they're bigger, but it was in my skin. And I Googled it and it was like Lyme disease is like bullshit. So I messaged my primary care at the VA and was like, hey, I think I have Lyme disease. My neck hurts. I got a tick bite, etc. And they were like, go to the ER.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I went to the ER like a couple days later because it wasn't getting better. So I went to the ER and I was like, because I was like, I don't. It's not going to test positive because it takes like 2 weeks or something for you to test positive. I was like, let's just start me on some cycline, and then and I'm also going to do some like herbal stuff. And so he's like, well, we'll do the test. So we did the test and it tested positive, which is pretty crazy.
Mm. So
Because
you did
everything I
test
read,
positive within a shorter period.
yeah, within like 4 or 5 days.
So that didn't check. That didn't track, and the whole 48 hours thing didn't track either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah. Doctors and everything.
They don't know shit.
But yeah, so he what's funny too is he offered me ivermectin and
It
and I
did.
really wanted to get it just to like post it in my Instagram story and be like, "Oh, look, my doctor prescribed me horse paste." You
Yeah.
fucking idiots. I
Yeah.
still see people say that like it's veterinary medicine. It's like it's won a Nobel Prize. So
I
I
have
don't
a
think so.
I have a very left leaning family member who has uh, all boosted up, and they got sick with something recently and was given a prescription, and it helped them dramatically. And getting them to tell and admit what they were prescribed to was like fucking getting them to pull their own teeth, dude.
Yeah.
Once they finally admitted it, I was like, "Say it louder, please."
No way. You got
How
better with
fucking how about
veterinary
that?
medicine? That's insane. Speaking of old shoddy shots, isn't that crazy about my buddy?
Oh, dude, that's unreal. That's fucking
Super
wild,
healthy.
man.
I'll let everybody know, super healthy. He's like 6 foot, probably like 250, solid muscle. I mean, there's no fat on him. He used to be in a biker gang. Like, that's kind of what he looks like. He's got some questionable tattoos, but he's a father now. He's like grown up and he's got a family. Um, Heart attack at
That's crazy, dude.
38 years old. Fucking heart attack.
Yeah, that's
They
wild,
did
man.
a. I'll read what he said because he said it. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. He said it. He said, I just got out of the hospital. I can't do shit now except hang out. My body's fucked. And I said, how the fuck did that happen? You're in great shape. He said, no idea. I had to get heart catheters done and a biopsy of my heart, and they found absolutely nothing. No arterial blockage, nothing. Spent a week in the ICU watching Top Gun and The Proposal on loop. I said, that's wild. I said, did you get the COVID shot? And he said, yeah, I did. And I didn't even think about that. And I
Damn.
said, well, what a coincidence. And then he was like, I'm so fucking pissed. And he just kept talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it sucks, dude. Especially for people like him who I assume probably got it while he was in the service, just falling in line like everyone like most people did. Um,
He's not very political, so I would guess that he just went to the VA or whatever because he
right.
wasn't still in. He was out at that time.
Oh, okay.
But
Hey,
I would
just
guess he
like
just
this, like
went in and
it's,
they were like, flu shot, COVID shot, bro shot. And he just was like, yeah, here's my arm. Because we're so,
well, I
in the
mean,
military, you're so used to it. You just
yeah, I
get
was gonna
jabbed.
say you guys go to appointments and they tell you, oh, you're due for this, and you're like, well, I can't say no,
Yeah,
so you just
hook it up.
kind of gets ingrained into you. Hell, I mean, I remember my dad when he was he early on before computer like when computers were still kind of new, especially for like compute like healthcare stuff and being used in the medical field for records keeping. I don't know if you can recall any like going to hospitals and records being on paper and like
Hmm.
folders.
Hmm.
So before like obviously before that was like the standard, and then computers got involved. I remember my dad using an like one of like I'm talking like this would have been 1999, early 2000s. He used an old school Microsoft Access to create a database to track immunizations for his squadron that he was responsible for getting. And this is whenever anthrax was getting pushed. This is right when the war started in Iraq, and they were getting everybody anthrax and all this other shit. Would have been a complete fucking total HIPAA violation today, but it was just a way of keeping track of shit.
Hmm. That's like this.
Yeah, there you go.
This is when I got out. Um, I brought this with me from Missouri. When I got to Texas, I checked it in at Texas. When I left Texas and got to
Yeah, you got to
Maryland,
travel
I
around
checked
with it.
it in at Maryland. And then when I got out, they just gave it to me in a manila envelope. Like, here's your entire medical history. Thank you.
Yeah, I've so it's funny. I've learned things about my dad about certain deployments and joint exercises and things that he did with people and units and things around the country by looking at his medical records.
Oh, yeah.
By looking at his medical records and being able to correlate things with other pieces of documentation that he had. Like I had no idea for the longest time. My dad could not hear out of his left side. He was hard of hearing. And for the longest time, we gave him shit. He would never come out and say, I'm partially deaf. I never heard him once say that. And I don't know why he wouldn't just say, hey, some shit happened and I can't fucking hear. I learned that on a training exercise in South America with it was either the Ecuadorians or the Peruvians, one of their groups down there. Somebody he was in a stack and they were and he didn't do this kind of stuff regularly. It was just exercise, it was training. Someone threw a flashbang and it into a room and it didn't go in. They bounced it off of somebody's leg and it went off like right next to my dad.
That'll do it.
And so it's in his medical record, like an explanation of what happened. Never heard that fucking story. I learned all kinds of crazy stories about shit my dad did and things that happened to him just by looking through his fucking stacks of medical records.
He's probably forgotten. He'd probably forgotten a lot of a lot of it.
Well, it's funny because he did that stuff, and then that was before that was early in his AFSOC career. So fast forward, 15 years, he goes to jump school. I'm sure he banged his head a bunch of times and shit. There's no telling what he forgot, but um, yeah, you guys kind of get when you're in the military, you guys are kind of at the mercy of whatever hospital afterwards. I guess the VA tells you that you have to do.
Speaking of jump school, this is how I ended up talking to my buddy this morning because I wanted. It's called. It's called the song. It's a marching song. I'm trying to find the here we go. It's a. I wanted to read. I want to read this to you. This is wild, and then I'll tell you the one he sent back, which is even more wild. I'm not going to do the whole thing, obviously, but this is the last verse. There was blood upon the risers, there were brains upon the chute, intestines were a dangling from his paratrooper's suit. He was a mess, they picked him up and poured him from his boots, and he ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. And isn't that crazy that they used to, they used to fucking sing that shit? And then he was like, how about this one? I went to the market. Where all the kiddies play. I pulled out my shotgun and I began to spray, singing left, right, left, right, kill.
Whatever keeps your mind off of the fact that you're just putting one foot in front of the other over and
Yeah.
over and over again for mile after mile, right?
I just love that it's a cadence about shooting up a playground. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Timothy McVeigh.
I imagine that doesn't get used anymore.
Probably not. Back to the tick thing. So
Yes.
no,
You're welcome.
it was my fault. So he was basically like, what's gonna happen is you're gonna start feeling like shit in the next like couple weeks. He's like, it could take months, it could take,
Damn.
who knows. And I was like, yep, I've already read about it. So I started to get pretty much that evening, I started to get like flu-like symptoms. And I just felt warm. I felt like I was running a fever for pretty much until yesterday, I think. Like the warmth came. I don't feel warm today. And
Mhm.
I didn't really yesterday either. So that was April. When was that? The 23rd, I think. Yeah, 23rd. So about 2 weeks in a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't feel good. And wild dreams, crazy dreams,
Oh,
like
I bet.
very vivid dreams. And I don't think it's the doxy because I took doxy the entire time I was in Afghanistan, and I didn't really have dreams. So
I've taken Doxy before and it hasn't bothered me.
I guess it's just my body was running. But anyway, so I looked up like natural remedies because I didn't really want to jeopardize anything. So
Mhm.
I found a bunch of stuff. So one, I wrote them down: Japanese knotweed, um, which is like I don't know. It's like a leafy. Here, I can just show you. Present. There we go.
Huh.
So Japanese knotweed, and then cat's claw, which it looks like it's a beautiful little yellow flower, but the vine, here you go. The vine has like these
Mm.
hooks in it.
Now,
Uh,
are those soft or do you know, or are they like
I don't know.
hmm,
You just get it like in pill form. Chinese skullcap, the next one.
okay.
Um, these kind of blue, purple looking flowers, and then Cryptolepis sanguinolenta. I don't know how to say it, but that. And then lastly, sweet wormweed.
Oh, okay. I've heard of wormweed.
So yeah, all of that. And then you just take that and you hope
Yeah.
for the best. Um, and then so I still was looking stuff up, and it's like anything I could find that was like, well, that's interesting. I'll give it a shot. So I was doing like way too much water, just trying to like cleanse the system.
Mhm.
I was doing like the intermittent fasting, but it was like I'd finish eating around 8 and I wouldn't eat again until 5 the next day. So it was like 21 hours, you know?
Yeah.
But I found out this thing called a Flowpresso. It's a it looks like a Michelin Man suit kinda. I mean, not really, but that's the best way I can explain it. So you put it on and it has air lines ran to it, and it flows air and it presses on your body. So what it's the way it does it is it starts at your toes and it like pushes your feet and then it squeezes your ankle and it lets go of your feet and then it squeezes your calf and then it lets go of your ankle, and it just like slowly pushes your skin. So it's woo woo science, but what they're saying it's doing is it's pushing your lymph fluid into your lymph nodes, which
Okay.
would like lymphatic system. So it's like massaging your lymphatic system, and it basically works from your feet up to your chest, and then down your up your arms, and it
Mhm.
just kind of like squeezes all the fluid, all your lymph fluid into like the center of your body. I don't know, just shooting it at the hip, and then I did 2 30-minute sessions of infrared sauna at the place that I did the Flowpresso suit at.
Yeah.
180 bucks for that
Really?
whole yeah.
What's this?
Um,
What is this place? Sounds interesting.
it's called like Rejuvenate or some shit. It's in Mount Pleasant.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen those other places before.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
not again, I don't know. I just it's a little woo woo for me, but I'm kind of into some of the woo woo
I'm
shits.
down. I'm down to try stuff.
Yeah. So I did that. I will say this place is interesting. I when she was hooking me up, it was just like blood curdling screams, and I was like, "Is there a fucking like little kid injection office next door?" Like I couldn't imagine, what
Yeah.
was causing these sounds. And she was like, "Oh no, sorry about that. It's a special needs daycare." And I was like,
Oh,
"Oh
damn.
fuck!" It sounded like it literally sounded like they were killing kids. I mean, yeah. So I put my headphones in. I didn't want to listen to that shit anymore.
Dude, that's intense.
Yeah, yeah,
Jesus. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
No,
So I
it's
did all that, and
just the. Oh, I want to say it so bad.
I mean, you can now. We don't have anything to lose anymore.
Just, just jobs. If this were
Yeah,
to
that's
ever
true.
get out.
That is true. I haven't had a whiskey in a hot minute.
What'd you pour?
That Old Forester single barrel rye.
Oh, goddamn. I haven't had whiskey in a long time. I even didn't even have it last night when Gavin had some.
No,
Mm-mm.
just let him try it, and you were like, "Good luck."
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, his girlfriend is taking a new job at Top Golf locally, and
Mm,
she has to memorize and be able to know like three of every type of liquor in the bar, so that if someone asks what they have to offer, she can be like, "Well, we have this, this, and this, and if I can go see what else they have." The idea
yeah.
being, if you name at least three, they'll probably pick one of those, and you can move on with the order, or you can make a recommendation. But she was asking questions through Gavin on the phone. They were on FaceTime about whiskey. I ended up giving her one of our whiskey classes basically through the phone last night over the course of like 20
Uh,
minutes.
nice.
Um, and and then he was asking about how they taste and sweet versus not sweet. And I'm like, it's not sweet the way you think it is. At least when you start drinking it, like when you first start drinking whiskey, none of it's going to taste sweet initially. Your palate, you have to get used to it.
Yeah.
I said, if you want something sweet, sweet, technically it's not a whiskey, but it's not a terrible way to introduce yourself to whiskeys. You can look at like, um, who has is it Jim Beam has the Red Stag, and then
Yeah.
there's like
I used
Jim
to drink the
Beam,
fuck out of the Red Stags, dude. I used to drink a ton of them.
Jack Daniel's Honey. I was like, there's stuff that they add to it, but it's not technically whiskey. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. I don't even know
That you
what I was saying.
haven't had whiskey. I was gonna
Oh
say
yeah.
Virgil Cane is a good one. If
Oh
you
yeah,
like,
that's right.
they have the green tea infused one. It's fantastic, and
Yeah.
I think it is actually like 80 something proof too.
Yeah, I used to buy that one to mix with stuff.
I
They
used
have
to buy
enough.
the ginger.
The
The
ginger
ginger's
one, that's the
more
one.
or less how I got into
Yeah,
not.
the
I mean, I
ginger one.
was drinking whiskey forever, but the ginger one is how I was like, huh. I wonder what other whiskeys I like. That's where I started my
Damn,
collection.
it's such good. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, the Baker 7, the old Bakers.
Old Bakers, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, man. I was not gonna lie, when you told me about it, I started looking stuff up, and I don't know if you know this, but oh Jesus, what's his name? Holy shit, Hunt Club, government employee, hardly ever see him anymore. Brian, uh,
Newbie?
Jesus Christ, yes, thank you, Brian. If you ever happen to listen to this, sorry, man. Brian Newby, he had a brother, I believe, that had Lyme disease, and was like 15, 10, whatever, 20 years later, still having like issues. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
completely out of the woods or if that's stuff that can come up later down the road, but it didn't sound fun. His stuff, he said he described it as like back and joint pain that would come and go.
Yeah, I
Like,
did have like some inflammation, weird shit in my joint in my fingers that was hurting. It was
yeah.
kind of like when you come off the diet and just eat. If I were to just
Mm,
eat bread for a week straight, that's the way
yep.
my fingers felt.
Yeah. 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 Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That sucks though. Hopefully that doesn't come back.
Yeah, I don't know.
I,
It's that's what they say is like if you catch it early, you're good, but even then, it could still be in there, and you could.
mhm,
I'm gonna keep taking these antibiotics until they're gone, um, but yeah, it's like it could like years later, it could just flare up. What I was hoping, because I was reading that you could kind of like stress your body out, so I was going to the gym more than I should have to try and just like just I don't know, just get the blood flowing, and then I would get in the sauna and just torture myself in the sauna, like almost to the point of passing out. But what I was reading is if your body has a hard enough fight with it and a good
mhm.
response, then you'll get immunity. You'll have antibodies.
I see.
And I was like, what a cool fucking thing to be immune to would be
Yeah.
Lyme
Hell yeah.
disease. I would love to be immune to Lyme disease. So
Yeah.
I tried it out. I don't know if it worked, but
Well,
I'll
time
find
will
out
tell.
tomorrow. Isn't that crazy? This little tiny tech that the government made can cause so much pain and
That's
is
fun.
super.
It's a fun one to look up, folks. Have fun with that.
Yeah, look it up. Look up the island. The island, like, was it Bangor, Maine or some shit?
Yeah. Bangor, Maine.
Something like that. Look up the
Yeah.
island. It's and look at all the diseases that they experimented with that suddenly are just a problem.
Fucking
Never
assholes.
were.
Yeah. Never were.
Fucking government.
Yeah. Did you didn't did you turkey hunt while you were there?
If walking around with a shotgun equals turkey hunting, then yes.
It does. That's
Okay.
exactly what turkey hunting is for most people.
Not I was in jeans and a shirt,
Oh, okay. Well,
so it wasn't like I wasn't in like I wasn't doing it for real. I did scratch a call a couple times.
okay. Well, close enough, man. It's more than I was able to do this year. So
Yeah.
good for you.
I
I
saw a big ass turkey when we were up on a mountain top behind where the house is going.
yeah.
And there was a there was a I heard something running down and I looked down there and it was a pretty big turkey, big
Nice.
tom. So I did see a turkey. I didn't have a shotgun. I was also 100 yards away, but
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture while we talk. I met well, I didn't I've met him before. He is a friend of Gavin and some of his buddies. And he turkey hunts, and he went upstate and asked Gavin if Gavin would ask me if he could borrow one of our whiskey and whitetails turkey calls that I had here, and he did. And that young man went up there and fucking bagged him a nice turkey, man, with our call.
nice. Did you let him keep the
Yeah.
call?
I have not. I don't know which I don't remember which one I gave him, so I need to make sure it's not the nice one that I want to make sure I keep. And if it turns out to be one of the older ones, I think I'm gonna let him keep it.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna let him keep it. So but yeah, I thought that was cool, man.
that is cool.
Especially since we're not making them and selling them anymore. And I told him as much. So but yeah, good kid. I think he has a baseball scholarship. He's going to college to play baseball. Good group of kids. But
I
yeah, I thought
actually
that was cool.
saw a decent amount of our calls in front of dead turkeys this spring. I
Yeah.
will say.
Yeah, yeah, there were quite a few from, not just Discord and Patreon folks, but, other folks as well. They're good calls, man. Like, there's a lot of things that I with the company sort of closed up now, I'll happily admit that we're sort of gimmicky, like the cocktail smoker, like, we were 100%, like, latching on to a a fad, and I mean, that's business, but I will stand by the calls that we made till the
Yeah.
day I die. There's something about that bourbon barrel oak and the way that it resonates sound both in a duck call and a turkey call. It is just there's just something about it. It sounds it's solid and it carries a really nice tone. It doesn't sound hollow. It doesn't sound cheap. I don't know how to
Mhm.
describe it, but that in combination with the skill, Jacob's skill. Jacob makes great calls. Like I see the other
Yep.
calls that he makes and other woods that he works with. He works with a lot of hardwoods, a lot of rare woods that I don't think I think a lot of people are scared to work with, and that's why we went with Jacob to begin with. He was the first. We asked several call makers,
Yeah.
and he was the first one to go, "Fuck it, I'll try." Everyone
Yeah.
else was like, "Ah, I can't do it. Ah, it's too thin," and he ponied up and was like, "Fuck it, let me do it. Let me try," and he did. And so if you what is JWS Woodworks? Is that what it is?
Yep. He had some company, some whiskey company asked me if we would make them turkey calls out of their barrels, and I was like,
Uh,
"No, but Jacob will."
JSW Woodworks. Sorry, Jacob.
Yeah.
JSW Woodworks. Go check him out if you're looking for. He'll do. I'm pretty sure he does commission pieces too. If you have something you're looking for specifically, he'll make it for you.
That's what I was saying, that, I sent that whiskey company to him, and I guess they hit him up and they were like, "Can you make everything that they were making?" And so he asked us if we were cool. I'm like, "I don't give a shit." So he's
Yeah,
making like cigar ashtrays and smoker blocks and calls, and he's making everything for this company now.
nice.
So that's cool. And he also, one of the things he used to do was the your tax stamp. He would
Oh
like inlay
yeah,
the tax stamp in a call, and I always thought that was sick.
yeah. It's a really cool way to preserve a call, especially if I mean if you've got the storage space and the display to do one every year. You're already spending if you get the actual stamp itself, you're already spending whatever it is, 20, $30 for to get the
Hmm.
stamp, you know. Spend $80 or $100 and have a dope ass call to preserve it in. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and his calls are great for sure.
Yeah.
I would definitely, if you're trying to get a custom call made, I would definitely hit him up. Hit my boy up.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, did you get Gavin's graduation announcement in the
I
mail?
did.
Are you gonna be able to make the party on the 24th?
I plan to. I forgot to RSVP.
No, you don't have to RSVP.
Oh,
I mean, just let us know if you're coming or not. I mean, we're not like
that would be an RSVP if I let you know if I'm coming.
you're right. Technically, I didn't need to be anything formal.
Yeah, I've got it in my calendar from 5 to 7
You can
at
come whenever
two
you want.
at 214.
Yeah, do not do not
I was gonna invite the gang, dude.
invite fucking YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, sure. It'll be an all day. We'll be. I mean, that's kind of the official time for people to come in, drop in, but we'll have family shit here all day long. So you guys come hang out whenever.
yeah. Okay, we will. Might come early. I'm gonna bring
Uh,
in that bike. He said he would take it.
oh, did he? Yeah, he's looking to get to work. He wants to get into working out and lifting this summer. He's not school's not his thing, which I don't fucking blame him. So he's not doing, he's not going to college. He's going right into working, and he's got some plans for things he wants to get into, entrepreneurial wise. But he's been wanting to get into a routine and work out in the mornings before he goes into work. So this will give him an option to do shit around here in the neighborhood if he wants to.
Do some working out, some polar plunges, and some hydrogen water, and some red
All
light
that.
therapy, and some supplements, and testosterone, and
Yeah.
fish
Well, he wants
oil,
to.
and
I think he's talking.
ivermectin.
Yeah, ivermectin for sure. He wants. I think he was talking last night. He wants to try to put some weight on. He's going to be playing. He got invited by his coach to play on his soccer coach plays and runs a club team. It's like a men's club team. They play regionally and they travel a little bit. And these are all guys that have played college and some of them played semi pro. Um, so he's going to be playing against some grown men. I was like, you might want to throw some weight on this summer, man, and get in the weight room. So he's gonna try and bulk up a little bit this summer, I think.
Make yourself hard to kidnap.
Yeah, there you go. Make yourself hard to kidnap. Someone said, I think it was not Mike Ripito, is another guy in the weightlifting world said strong people are more useful and generally harder to kill or some shit like that. And I was like, yeah, it's
Yeah, it's a good
pretty
point.
accurate. Pretty
It's
accurate.
also nice being able to. Oh man, I got the whiskey gave me heartburn or something. Might also be that Zen I just put in. Uh, um,
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Do not.
okay, why not?
Another time. You
What
were
are
the
we
only
talking?
you were the only person that knows.
Oh,
Now everyone's
okay,
like, "Well, I want to know." Oh, you found it?
yeah. I found a cord. Found what I was looking for. The cord. That's what. Yeah. So what else is going on?
Not much, man. Since last time, I mean, we've been sort of tech. I mean, as always, texting and shit. We can. Did you see Kanye's video?
Dude, did you see the
Dude,
name of the song?
yeah, yeah. Man. So,
Buddy, that's we should just play it. Is it
mm,
on YouTube? You think
I
it's
don't
on YouTube?
know.
I bet it's not.
I don't know. Breaks. We did the breaks? Gavin's breaks. That's fun.
Yeah, how'd that
I
go?
haven't done vehicle breaks in a long time. So took his man took his brakes to brakes for less just to get a quick cheap brake job done. His rotors were too far shot. So
Mhm.
what was going to be a $250 job in a couple hours in and out, done deal. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's fine. I don't have the time. I just get it done. They're like,
Oh,
well,
you
it's going
did
to be.
pay him?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, I was about to
Because
say.
they advertise like, oh, you'll get you in and out. We'll resurface the brakes or the rotors.
29.99.
Yeah, we'll resurface them. We'll do this. We'll do that. New hardware, brake pads, in and out, couple hours, $250. I was like, done. They called
Yeah.
back. Were like, rotors are really bad, which I kind of fucking knew they were. I was just hoping they weren't. And they're like, it's gonna be $900, taxes and everything out the door. For I was like, nope. I said, throw them back on. They're like, sir, this brake and that, and he had. I'm not driving the vehicle every day, so I don't know how bad it is. Gavin was 100% kind of underselling how bad the brakes were sounding, and
You
turns
got
out
the
it was like
pads down to the metal.
do his
Just
metal on metal, bro.
fucking
Just fucking grinding that shit out. And I was like, all right. So when we took them off, I was like, this is your indicator pin on the back on the back brake pad.
yeah.
When you
They even
hear
call it a wear sensor is what they
yeah,
call
when
it.
you hear weird noises or feel weird grinding coming from your brakes, you gotta let me know. Like we gotta talk about it so we can get it fixed.
Because you can usually just swap pads. You don't got to do rotors. But as you
Right.
start tearing up your rotors, you're doing them.
That was and dude, it was like pitted and it was awful. So I went and bought I it was gonna cost me like $900 to get it done with them. I spent about 500 on good parts. I went and bought good Duralast pads and rotors, and we sat one morning and did them in the garage before before work. That was fun though. That's the first other than changing oil and changing a flat tire. That's the first time he's gotten his hands dirty on an actual like repair of doing some I don't want to say serious maintenance because it's pretty routine. Once you get in
Yeah.
there and you realize what's net, what it is doesn't entail a whole lot. Um, but that was fun. I think he enjoyed getting his hands dirty and getting involved with that. He ended up having to leave for work, so I finished it up for him and brought him his car so he could drive home from work. But dude, fucking $900, dude. The cost of labor is brutal.
Yeah. I think it back when I was doing it, it was like $100 an hour. I think most shops are like 150, 160 an hour now.
It's got to be. It's got to be because I know breaks for less and those places are not using like. Well, here's the other thing. Like,
They're not.
y-
They're
y-
getting like Mentex pads from
well,
fucking
but here's the thing: you buy
China.
a box of, and I found this on a Reddit site, and I've known this for a long time because it's the same thing with a ton of shit in various industries. You buy 5 different brands of brake pads. They're all the same fucking thing being made by the same company somewhere in Indiana or somewhere else,
China.
and China, whatever it is, and then everyone's buying it and putting their own brand on it, putting their color, you know, caliper clips in there, and then calling it theirs, right? But it's all the same shit, and then everyone's got a different price. So yeah, damn well they're throwing the cheapest shit they can buy on there at the shop and then charging you an arm and a leg for labor, but that's, I guess, business, right?
Yeah, because you're driving along, la dee la, woo. All of a sudden, there's a truck tire in the middle of the road, and you hit the brakes. See, whoa, that was close. Now let's see what happens when you're driving with the other guy's brake pads. You're driving along, yeah.
Are you reading an ad?
That's why. That's why I only use Callahan Auto
Okay,
brake
there
pad.
you go. Great movie. If you
Yeah,
didn't get that
fantastic
reference,
movie.
fuck off.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Did I hear a niner in there?
You calling
Calling
from a
from a
walkie?
walkie-talkie?
Like you know this. It's thick candy shell.
Oh, yeah, when he spills those M&Ms in his fucking that car's
Yeah.
oh, that's
What'd you do? Fuck, man, I might have to watch that movie tonight.
yeah, I just thought the same thing. Oh,
That's a
shit.
great movie. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
man, other than
brakes
that
brakes are, it's, that's what one of the things. Remember I told you, like, if I ever had a kid, his college would be, like a excuse me, like a auto mechanic school, and
mhm,
then an HVAC school, and then a plumbing school, and then after that, you're good to go. I'll pay for
yeah,
that.
yep.
You go do all that, and then hit the streets, my man, because you'll save so much money in the long run knowing
Oh,
how to do your own HVAC. Like, the house that we're building, I'm building it with the intention of running pretty basic shit. So, like, the HVAC, I also thought about that, going to HVAC school myself, because I still have some of that GI Bill left.
dude, you should, especially living out there, you could make all kinds of money on the side
I
doing stuff
know.
for people out there.
Cash.
Yeah, 100%.
I've been, like, putting together all these things in my head. Like, do you know what black diesel is? So it's basically it's like an 85% yield per gallon of oil. You can distill it into diesel fuel.
Okay.
Um, so I was thinking, like, you can get free oil anywhere. I mean, everybody's got oil, but it'll put like an oil collection stand somewhere in town. It's like, drop off your used oil here.
Yeah.
Just hopefully people aren't dicks and put coolant in it. Either way, you could separate it out. But yeah, you just basically distill the oil and you turn it into diesel fuel. But I could sell that to farmers, tax free.
Yeah.
Trying to get that tax free life, But the HVAC
Me
thing,
too.
cash only, I'll run in there and fix it for cash. It's not a business. I'm just a guy
Yeah.
that
You're just covering my gas and
Yeah,
my lunch for the day.
yeah, and the capacitor that I'm gonna replace, because that seems to be the main thing.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing that that's the other thing that you find when you start getting into it is, like, in any of these things, whether it's HVAC, whether it's plumbing, hell, even most automotive stuff, as you know, you can very easily name, like, a top 5 if you wanted to go as far as a top 10 things. It's almost always these things
Mhm.
because 'cause they're just the common things that go out. It's a compressor or it's a it's a fan or it's this fuse or whatever. And once you understand that and you know it well, and you keep those little parts on hand, it's an easy fix, right? You can tell someone, "Oh, I'll come do it for this amount. I gotta run into town and grab the part." You fucking have it already, you know you do,
Yeah,
but it gives you justification to charge a little extra. And you go do what you do it in 20 fucking minutes. You sit under the house or wherever you are for 45 minutes on your phone
yeah,
and fucking
yeah.
say, "Oh, it took me an hour." I don't know. I sound like an asshole, but that's life.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how I'm gonna survive, I think.
Yeah.
Once the house is paid for, that'll probably be 5 or 6 years, but once the house is paid off, I should be setting pretty good with the sale of this house, and I'm building this one on a tight budget. And so far, everything that I've done out there, I've paid cash for. So it's,
Nice.
once the loan gets going. But I finally finalized the house plan, so that's exciting.
Cool. Yeah, man, you sent me those plans and asked for feedback, and you saw I asked you a couple of questions. You and I have talked about what your plans were with that house and kind of the minimalist approach you wanted to take to some things. Um, the having the basics, a little room for things that you wanted to kind of I don't want to say splurge on, but to have room to make nice. But the fact that like I didn't have a whole lot of feedback for you because you've been talking about what you want and how you want to do it for over a year now, and the plans executed it perfectly. The only
Yeah.
like anything that I would recommend would I felt would have been super personal to what I or Jessica would have wanted. So I didn't buy. That's why I asked like is the laundry going upstairs or downstairs? Is your bedroom upstairs or downstairs? Because
Yeah.
had your answers been different, I would have had suggestions or opinions,
Yeah.
but you I asked those questions assuming I knew the answer and I was correct in what your answer was gonna be, so I didn't have anything else to fucking add, dude.
I
I
thought about
know.
building a chute from the upstairs bedroom down to the room, but it's like that's just for guests. That would be
Right.
it's stupid.
And
It's dumb.
that was gonna be my only thing was, like, carrying laundry upstairs and downstairs fucking blows.
Yeah.
The last house we had, in Westcott, our laundry room was downstairs, and hauling laundry across the house and upstairs into the bedrooms was the fucking worst, dude. I
Yeah.
hated it. We used to just take and walk to I don't know if you remember I know you remember the ceiling because how big the living room was because
Yeah.
I wouldn't like, I think about that pause, that look, and that comment you made all the time. It makes me chuckle, but we used to walk from the
Well, you
bedroom.
might as well tell it.
All right, so, as you know, Matt and I share a pretty dark sense of humor when it comes to things, and, sometimes suicide jokes creep in, and it comes from a place of, love and care between the 2 of us. That that topic is something that is unfortunately it's a thing in the veteran community and something that both he and I have been personally impacted by one way or another. So, if it hurts your feelings or it offends you, I'm not sorry. Get the fuck over it. But
This is how we cope
we make suicide jokes sometimes, and we were
a lot of times.
all the fucking time. Um, we were standing, and in this house that we lived in before I moved into this house, the living room had a huge they're like 20 fucking foot ceilings. They went from the first floor up to the second floor, and there was an upstairs. When you went to the top of the flight of stairs to get upstairs, there was a banister, and it was probably 20-foot worth of banister that looked over into the living room. And there were huge windows that you looked across that brought natural light into the house. Very nice. We ended up moving and selling the house because it was just too big of a fucking house. Like, I know that sounds dumb, but when you have a family and kids and shit to take care of, like, also trying to take care of a big fucking house
Yeah.
is just a lot. And we had plans to make improvements on that house and things that we wanted to do. And instead, in the matter of like 2 years, we spent like 30 grand replacing the AC unit, the roof, and the fucking water heater, none of which was planned. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. As Matt came over the first time to check out the house, he was helping me move some stuff in, giving him a tour, showing him stuff. I'm super proud. He's pumping me up. You know, we get to the living room and we're looking around. And he looks up and he looks at the banister and he looks at me and goes, I could do it there. And I didn't even have to fucking ask what he meant. We both busted out laughing. It was one of the funniest moments,
Yeah.
like with dark moments that we've shared. And there were other people in the house. So it was one of those like quiet kind of jokes, but
Yeah.
in amongst other people. Anyways, that's what that was.
It was like you bought a house that came with a suicide platform.
Bought this house, bonus,
Yeah.
it has plan B built in.
Yeah. We'll have to replace one of those wood posts with like wrought iron steel, but
I don't think so because I figured out that there was actually if you could have anchored you could there were other options.
no. Okay.
There were more sturdy options. There just were.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
anyways, so yeah, so
It's like, why do you have a eye bolt sticking out of the wall right here? Yeah, just in case.
why is there an why is there an why is there a 2-inch eye bolt anchored in the wall, like 12 inches above the wall right here on the opposite side of the banister?
Yeah, you know.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just there.
Maintenance. It's just maintenance.
It's for flowers. You can hang flowers there. Flower pots.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Anyways, the other thing about your plan and the reason I didn't comment on much is because other than sleeping in your house and cooking, I know from our conversations that there's not much else you plan on doing in that house.
Yeah.
The majority of your time is going to be spent outside. You're building a larger shop. You have other plans for things around the property. And I know just from your personality that you won't be going in that house unless it's nighttime and the weather fucking blows.
And
And
even then, these cryptids, I might be outside at night now, you know.
right, you never know.
I might be cryptid hunting.
That's fucking weird, by the way.
I
Thank you for your drawings, by the way. I showed them to Jessica and without any context, and she was like, "One of the kids, what, we want to know if one of the kids drew that." Like I was like, "No." No.
No, Matt drew it. And I'm pretty proud of it. That's kind of what it looked like. Yeah. There's apparently a cryptid in this holler that I'm I'm building, and I've seen the pictures of it. So it's yeah. And he's got enough pictures of it that he's like, I'm not sharing this with anybody because he's worried people are gonna come in there and try to find it. Which somebody would, there's a ghost hunter or
I'm so confused
Bigfoot
on,
hunter,
like, what does that mean? Like, what is a cryptid exactly?
like an interdimensional being,
Okay,
probably, but it's like Bigfoot would be a cryptid. So
okay,
things like that, things that aren't real, but they fucking could be real. And there's people that have dedicated their life to proving that they're real.
right. There's enough
Things like that.
evidence to suggest that, enough evidence for you to not prove it, but not completely dismiss it either.
I'll tell you this: I saw trail camera pictures of a thing with no clothes on. That's not. I mean, it was walking upright. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of like people don't like talking about that stuff because you sound like a lunatic. But I mean, and we've all seen weird shit on trail cameras. Where the fog
yeah.
is just right, or like the IR probably caught something. That was not this. This was very obviously
You're
a
gonna have to,
living thing, a thing that
yeah,
is alive.
you're gonna have to get up. You're gonna have to go to some look. When I say local libraries, I mean you're gonna have to go digging in some libraries up in them parts if they exist, uh, and see if you can
Sure
find
there
some,
are.
like, some old school, like, Appalachia folklore, and see, like, you can find out if you need to leave, like, some kind of fucking offering or
Well, there's a
something
ton
to
of
make
them.
peace.
There's a ton of stuff about that, like, because we've looked them up. Because I mean, I heard about them as a kid,
Yeah. We have
mm,
similar things in Louisiana, the Rougarou, and there's some other ones that are, like, these cryptid swamp creatures that exist. Some people believe they do, some people don't.
yeah, it's just one of the, it's like I'm not sure that believing at this point is even a thing. Like I mean, it's there. It's it's not that I don't believe or I do believe, but there's pictures of something walking around out there with no clothes on it, and it doesn't look like a human. Um,
What if it's
I mean,
just
I
him?
don't fucking know. Well, they've talked about footprints. Both of the neighbors have talked about finding weird footprints.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
God,
and it's way back in there. I mean, there's not people in there, and there's trail cameras everywhere. There's cameras all over the place in there, for a
yeah.
lot of reasons. But most of them are hunters, but they also, it's just one of those things. It's a remote area. You kind of want to know if people are smelling around your property.
Oh, yeah.
Um, it's I don't know. There's a lot of things about being out there. Like you don't whistle in the woods. If you hear your name, no, you didn't. You never respond to a crying baby. There's, people go missing all the fucking time out there. And a lot of it's attributed to just holes in the ground. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
sinkhole 400 yards from where we're building a house, a massive sinkhole, like
Is it
huge.
really?
Yeah, it's huge. All this water comes down out of the mountain, and
Yeah.
it basically it goes there, and then it goes down out
You
of it.
gonna
I
mark
mean,
are you gonna mark that off?
you can see it. You drive right by it on the road.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like,
I thought,
when you come in there and you pass that trailer on the left,
yeah,
and then there's like a pen where he kept his horse in there before his
yeah.
dogs killed his horse. Right after that
His
pen,
dogs killed his horse?
yeah.
Oh, fuck that, Jesus.
Well, they're not his dogs. People just drop dogs off out there because
Oh, I
it's in the
bet.
middle of nowhere. So they
Yeah,
end up keeping them, and some of the dogs are nice and they keep them around, and some of the dogs aren't nice, and he takes care of that. But
yeah.
um,
Alright,
I don't know.
if that offends
It's
you,
country living.
it's a different, yeah.
Oh, what are you gonna do? I mean, these
These are
people
the
drop dogs off at your yard.
these are just, yeah, these are discussions that folks that have not been exposed to, or used to that. I'm not saying I'm used to it, like, but I've been exposed to it. Like, it's just a way of life. Like,
Yep.
a dog out there, a dog isn't like a dog that's aggressive or not a good dog isn't just like a animal control phone call away from being removed. Like, not only could it attack you, and EMS is 20, 30 minutes away, but we're talking about livestock and other things. Like,
Well,
it's
that's a
not,
big thing. There is no EMS there. There's two sheriffs, and they don't patrol. They work 9 to 5 at the sheriff's office, and they process paperwork. That's it. They
yeah,
don't respond to calls. You have to call the county for that, and like they're probably not going to come. There is
Mhm.
no ambulatory service. There just isn't. So if something is on your property and it's acting hostile, no matter what it is, somebody's pet to a human, it's
Mhm.
pretty much on you. You're the one taking care of it. You're the one doing
Right.
the thing. So it's like, yeah, I've purposely bought some weapons recently, things that like I bought a really nice tactical shotgun for a reason. I bought that Homesteader, that 9mm rifle for a reason.
Mhm.
It's they're not. It's like they're killing guns. They're not like I know all guns are killing guns, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but they're tools. They're
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 tools.
tools. The same way out there, the same way that, you get out and you step out you out of your door, you step out the back of your property or your house, and you grab a jacket, and you grab your work gloves, you grab a
Yeah,
rifle or your gun and your saw, whatever else it's just it's a tool that's necessary for living out there. And if you ever in a Camp Hero, it's a little different because the environment is different, but it's also not that different. So
yeah,
guests out there don't see that and don't know that, but folks who are out there regularly, like Rocco and other folks who like that kind of stuff is at the forefront of their mind the whole time they're out there on behalf of their guests.
yeah. Pretty much everybody that's walking around is carrying a pistol. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just everybody is. It's just. I mean, there's cats out there, and there's pumas or mountain lions or cougars, whatever you want to call them. The the
Bear,
Kentucky DNR
bears.
says, yeah, there's definitely bears, but the Kentucky DNR says there's no big cats. And the reason why is because if they admit they exist, they have to funnel money into conservation for them. So they
Mhm.
just say they don't exist. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with here in South Carolina. We have big
Yep.
cats here too. But those cats, I mean, if they're hungry, you're fucked. It's like you don't really have any other options. And the
Yep.
bears, I mean, the bears they're pretty. I mean, it's the Appalachian Mountains. There's big bears in there.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, man, I'm jealous. I'm not jealous in like a real jealous way, but like I'm more pumped and proud of you that you've made the jump, the leap. And like I told you in the text message, man, you guys doing everything you're doing is lit a fire under Jessica and I's ass to speed up our process of making things happen. So we're hopefully now that Gavin's graduating this year, we'll see how long it takes us to make it happen.
It's I heard somebody say it once talking about pretty much anything in life, but he was using it for another story. But
Hmm.
it's like if you want like if you want to be an artist, like oh, it'd be cool to learn how to paint, but you never go buy a paintbrush.
Right.
You just one day I'll learn how to paint, one day I'll learn how to paint, and all it is just an idea. It's not actually real. And
Yeah.
then you go buy a paintbrush and buy some paint. Now it's just you have to do it. So
Yeah.
it's like I needed money, so I quit going out to eat, I quit doing fun shit, and we've just been saving money, and so we bought the land. So that's like the first step, and then it's like
Yeah.
now what? It's like okay, well I'll save up, pay somebody to clear it. Well, I need gravel, so we'll pay to get rock put down. So it's just like you have to make a move. And
Yeah.
and I will say the land's not getting any cheaper out there. I still get like land watch emails, and
Yeah.
dude, it's 5 years ago you could buy 100 acres for 50 grand, and
Yeah.
now it's like 200.
Yeah, I
Just
know. It's wild. It's fucking nuts.
yep. All right, well, I am gonna probably go watch Tommy Boy now
Nice.
and some other things.
Yeah, you should go watch a sunset first.
Yep.
Since you're close to the beach, not that the sun sets in the east, but you guys have an interesting perspective.
It sets right in our backyard, which is
Even better.
yeah, because we face the east. The other place too, if you're ever in Charleston and want to go see a cool sunset, it's like a local spot, but it's called Sunset K. It's on Folly Beach, and it's like down quite a ways, but the sun it like looks over the bay or
Yeah.
the whatever that would be, the Kiowa River or the Folly
Mhm.
River. I don't even know what the name of the river is, but the sun sets over the marsh back there, so it's actually a fucking awesome sunset.
Yeah. I tell people all the time that Charleston, and it's not just Charleston, it's this whole kind of section of the East Coast where there's a lot of intercoastal areas, but it's one of the unique places in the country where you can watch the sunrise and the sunset on a beach
Yeah.
if you know where to go.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, beautiful
We still
stuff.
watch it out at Bird Key. You could sit out there and watch the sunset out there.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
then you're taking your boat back in the dark, which is After drinking all day, not really a good idea.
It is not. It
That's how
is not
people die. That's in the news all the time.
all
Fucking
the fucking time.
dude, my neighbor, speaking of people almost or not dying, but getting hurt on a boat. My
Mm-mm.
neighbor's dad has like a 60-foot Hatteras offshore boat, like really nice boat.
Yeah.
And they've been using the same captain for years, but he was out 3 hours out fishing, and he was in the tuna tower, and two
Mm-hmm.
waves came in together, and basically the boat was rocking left to right to left to right, and then these two waves came in and stopped it. And so he had the momentum of going to the right, and then the boat just stopped, and it
Threw him
launched
off.
him, threw him
Oh,
off. He hit the
fuck.
gunnel, knocked him out, and he started to sink. And his son jumped in and grabbed him and brought him back up. But it like broke his back and shit. And a 3 hour boat ride back in
With a
that
broken
condition.
back.
Yeah,
Fuck. I'm
yeah,
telling you, man, like I'm just a lot of guys that spend a lot of time on the water. We have friends that spend a lot of time offshore in the water and they don't wear life jackets. They don't wear even like the low profile things that are water activated.
yep.
Maybe it's just because I got kids that rely on a family that relies on me, but you wouldn't get me that far offshore without wearing something.
I never wear them, but the last time I went offshore was miserable. So I will probably never do it again.
Yeah.
We were in a smaller boat and it was just choppy, and it was
Yeah.
3 hours of just getting the shit kicked out of you. I mean, wave after wave after wave. And it's just like, I like halfway back, I was like, I'm going to fucking shoot myself. I don't know that I can do this for another hour and a half. So it's like for an hour and a half, just concussion. It fucking sucked. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah. That doesn't
Ever,
sound fun. Sounds
ever
miserable.
going to the mountains. Okay.
Alrighty. Good talk.
Yep. All right. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Drinking whiskey.